Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Good morning to all. Welcome to our second PU Computer Science online classes. And in last class, we already learned the meaning of constructor and the types of constructor that are default constructor, parameterized constructor, copy constructor. By using their features, important features of all these constructor, and also by using suitable example and the syntax of all constructors. And with that also, we already learned the constructor overloading. And after the last concept about this chapter, constructor and destructor, that is the concept is the destructor. Clear this point here? The concept name is the destructor. So before going to start, the meaning of destructor or maybe the syntax of destructor, let's see the meaning of constructor. As we have seen that a constructor special member function and will be automatically called. Why we calling the constructor special member function? We know that when an object is going to define, or simply we can say that when an object is defined for a class or when an object is created for a class, after the creation of the object we initializing value to the object. So this is the purpose of the constructor. So in the same manner, the another special member function that is called as the destructor will be called automatically but when an object is destroyed. Clear the meaning? Why? Because now just only I completed the meaning of both. First of all, I said the meaning for the constructor, and second one, just whatever I completed now, this is the meaning applicable to our special member function destructor. For constructor I said special member function, and the specially going to call automatically when an object is created or defined for a class to initialize the object of the class. But the another special member function destructor will be called automatically or invoked automatically when an object is destroyed. Now what's the meaning of the destroying? So we can say that destroying an object means deallocating all the resources. That means whatever we constructed by using constructor special member function, such object going to destroy by using the member function that is called as the destructor. So destructor or destroying an object means deallocating all the resources that was allocated for the object by the constructor. Clear this point here? Whatever the memory that was allocated for the object by the constructor here. So this is the simple meaning about our destructor, or in other words we can say that destructor is a special member function and will be invoked, called automatically when an object is destroyed. Clear this point? But in case of while going to declare or while going to use the constructor special member function, we know that what's the name we are going to use for the class name, the same name applicable to our constructor special member function. Like that only it will have the same name as that of the class. That means what's the name we are using for the class name? See, the same name that is for the constructor and also for our destructor also. But you should remember it. First of all, the first character must be or preceded by a tilde operator. The tilde operator means such one going to write by using down to up. Clear this point here? Just for your remembrance how to use the operator tiled. That means such one going to write by using down to up, but it is not called as the down to up. The name of the operator is called as the tilde, TILDE. Clear this point here? So this is the meaning about our destructor here. Now let's see the syntax of the destructor. As we know that the class is the keyword. Clear this point here? Let's see the syntax of the destructor. So the syntax, we know that the keyword class is going to use, and the class name, what's the name we are going to use for the class name here? So that is called as the user defined name. And opening of the flower bracket, and we know that in our private access specifier we using some of the data variables, that is called as the member data of the class. Okay, what's the data? The member data you are going to use in the class. Such one going to declare by using private access specifier, and the second access specifier name, the name of the second access specifier, that is called as the public. And for the public we know that in comment line what I written, the public also calling as the methods or the operation or the public, or we can say as the interface. Clear this point here? So many names are there for the access specifier, but always we are using while going to write the program. In program we are writing the access specifier, that is called as the public only here. And in public some of the member functions we are going to write, maybe some define or declaration of the member function, but directly I am using the syntax of the destructor. So directly here just only the class name, that means we know that this is called as the constructor. That means what's the name? If you are using the class name, that is ABC, that means here the constructor name is also the ABC. Clear this point here? And we know that why? Because I already said it will have the name, that means the constructor also have the name that is same, that is same as the class name. So we know that the class name, constructor name and the destructor name should be the same. But in our, while writing the destructor, the first letter we need to write by using the operator. The operator is the tilde operator here. So this is the constructor and this one is called as the destructor, and closing of the flower bracket, semicolon. Maybe I think it's the syntax of the destructor, it will be clear in this case. So let's see, by using one example we are going to clear the meaning or the example of the destructor here. So for the class I used the class. Why? Because it is called as the keyword to declare the class here. And for the class name, what's the name of the class? In this example I taken the name of the class is the counter. Clear this point here? Counter in this case. Then opening of the flower bracket, and in our private we need to use some of the member data. So for the member data already I used the name of the member data, that is called as the counter. Clear this point here? I want to count just only one name for the class name here, and for our member data also I am going to use the name. The name is the counter only, and such one going to declare by using the data type, that is called as the int. So in this example I used only one member data, that is called as the counter. And after the counter we know that why? Because we need to use the public access specifier, and in our public access specifier we using some of the member function of the class here. So but in this is very simple example of the destructor. So without using the member function I am directly going to define some of the constructor special member function. Well, because if you are using the constructor, then only it possible to destroy this special member function. So before going to destroy this special member function we need to use the constructor special member function, and we know that what's the name of the class? The name of the class is the counter here. So the same name we are going to take for our constructor special member function. So I used the counter. Clear this point here. The counter is the special member function. And why we using? Why? Because we know that if you are using any constructor special member function, such one is using to initialize the object of the class. So the object of the class, the member data name is the counter. So for that I am using some of the value. I am initializing some value to the object. Clear this point here. And you can use 0, 10, 100, no any problem here. Just we need to initialize, okay, initialize some value to the object. And then later next one, closing of the flower bracket. And after that, whatever we used by using the constructor special member function, we initialize some value to the object. Now I want to destroy the object in this case. So before going to write, why? Because I already said, why? Because the first letter must be start by using the operator that is called as the tilde operator. So just I used down to up for your remembrance. Such letter going to write as the down to up. I already written, and such one is called as, it is not called as the down to up, it is called as the tilde operator, TILDE. Okay, so the tilde, and later next one we know that what's the name for the class name, constructor name and destructor name should be the same. So the same name I used. The destructor name is also the counter, and this is called as the definition of the destructor function. And here just only that means something, some information, some code I written here. It is simple example of the destructor. So you should remember it, whatever some be written in case of the opening of the flower bracket and closing of the flower bracket in our destructor member function. Clear this point here. The destructor member function here, and after that we need to use one more flower bracket with a semicolon. That means this is called as the end of the class definition. Clear this point here. The end of the class definition is calling as, so this is the simple example. So in this example we can say that here the class name is the counter. We just declare one member data. The name of the member data is the counter here, and also we constructed one special member function by using the name counter, and such special member function is using to initialize the object of the class here. And also this special member function is using, why? Because to destroy the object by using this special member function. The name of this special member function is called as the destructor. Clear this point here. That means here automatically it going to destroy the object by using this special member function. This special member function is called as the destructor. And later next one, I open the flower bracket and some code I written here, then closing of the flower bracket, and later one more flower bracket with the semicolon, that is called as the end of class definition. So this is one simple example for our destructor. Now let's see some of the note of the destructor. So what are the note we need to know in our destructor? So the first note we can say that the destructor name is always the same as that of the class. Correct? No, in this case, why? Because in last example class name is the counter and constructor name is also the counter and destructor name is also the counter. That means the first note, the destructor name is same as that of the class here, but we know that the first character, that means while going to write the destructor member function, the first character must be tilde, that is called as the down to up we need to use. So in this example I already written, not by using the constructor. When you are going to define or declare the destructor member function, on that time we need to write, that means the first character must be started by using the operator. The operator is called as the tiled operator. Okay, kya? And later next one, this second point we can say that the destructor do not have a return value. Clear this point? The destructor do not have a return value, or simply we can say that the destructor can never return a value. Whether we are using the destructor to return a value, whether we are creating or calling automatically the special member function destructor to return a value, no, we are not going to call to return any value from one function to the another function. Such a destructor special member function is using, why? Because to destroy the object. Clear this point here? It is calling or called automatically to destroy the object here. So we can say that the destructor can never return a value. Why? Because we know that such a special member function is using to destroy the object. So there is no any verb to return any value from one function to the another function. So finally we can say that the destructor can never return, RETURN, return a value here. And later next one, the third point we can say that here they take no arguments. Clear this point here? See, why? Because we know that there is no any argument in our destructor here, or simply we can say that the destructor function or special member function cannot be overloaded. Why? Because the same point whatever I said in case of our second point, the second point only going to join to our third node. Clear this point? Why? Because I already said such a special member function is using to destroy the object, in this case here, to destroy the object. So they take no arguments. Clear this point? That means if no argument, if zero argument constructor means we know that we already know about the constructor overloading. Correct? No? Why? Because if you are using default constructor, we know that always the argument is 0. In parenthesis we are not using any argument, always it is equal to the 0. So the same function name without using argument, it not possible to use again and again. Yeah, the parameterized constructor we can use. Why? Because the function name should be the same, but by using different argument name we can use again and again here. So finally we can say that the third node, they take no arguments. Why? Because we know that the destructor special member function is using to destroy the object. So therefore the destructor can never be or cannot be overloaded. Clear this point? And later next one, the fourth point, we can say that also it should be declared in public section only. So where I used the destructor special member function. So this is the public access. In public access, first of all I declared, I define, maybe sometime we are going to declare, sometime going to define, but in this example I defined. Clear this point here? So first of all we need to define the constructor special member function, and later words we need to use our destructor special member function, and where I used in our public access specifier. So we can say that also the destructor special member function should be declared in public section only here. And the last point we can say that the common use of destructor. So what are the common use of destructor? The common use of destructor, deallocate the memory. So this is the common use of destructor. Clear this point? So what do you mean by deallocate the memory? That means here we can say that was allocated for the object by the constructor. Whatever the memory that one is allocated for the object by the constructor, such one going to deallocate. Deallocate means removing the memory. Clear this point here? So we can say that the common use of destructor. So the common use of destructor, that is called as the deallocate memory. Deallocate memory means that was allocated for the object by the constructor. So that is called as the use of the destructors. And we already completed the simple example about the destructor. Let's see one more simple example for our destructor special member function, class, keyword, and for the class name account here. I used the name for the class name, that is called as the account. And in our account, first of all, before going to use the member data, we know that first of all the access specifier private. Clear this one? The private access specifier we need to write, and in our private access specifier I am going to declare some of the member data. The member data names are, one is the balance, second one is called as the rate, and both balance and rate going to declare by using the data type that is called as the float. That means we know that when we are using the float data type for the balance, we can use 100.01, 100.70, like that we can use the numbers, value, we can give the value to the balance here, and also for the rate, why? Because we know that the data type is the float. And after the next member function, the next member function means maybe when you are going to declare any member function, any constructor special member function, or maybe any destructor special member function, going to declare by using the access specifier. The access specifier is called as the public. The public only call as methods operation interface. Okay, and in our public I am going to declare the member function. Why? Because see the difference, the counter, the semicolon is not there, so we can say as the definition, but here I used the semicolon, that means I am going to declare the member function, and should remember it, no any data type we are going to use, directly the class name. So the class name is the counter. So the special member function for this constructor I am using the name is the account. Clear this point here, account here. And also before going to use the class name account for the destructor member function, I am going to start by using the operator. The operator is the tilde operator, down to up I already completed here. So this operator I am going to use before going to use the class name account. So tilde account, open close semicolon, this is called as the declaration of the member function or special member function destructor, and closing of lower bracket semicolon. So you can use any example, maybe by using the example you are going to write the count, going to write the example of destructor member function by using the counter, otherwise you can use the account. So this is the suitable example for our destructor. Thank you.